Welcome to Being Humankind, with your hosts Bryan, Mike, and Neillee. We explore what it means to be human in a time of disconnection.
This has got to be, I know you have a great story. So I want to know what the biggest lie you've ever told was.
Biggest lie I've ever told.
Doesn't have to be the one that hurt the most people or
No.
something, but the biggest lie you told.
The biggest lie I've ever told. It's got to be something when I was a teenager. Biggest lie I've ever told. Biggest lie I've ever told had, if I had to, since it has to have a story with it. My mother and my stepfather were going to Rhode Island for a little weekend getaway. And my mother said, do not throw any parties. Nope. I won't, Mom. I will not. I will not throw any parties. And I did. And at the time I was working at Barnes and Noble, and I invited everybody there. Invited everybody I knew. My brother was 14 or 15 at the time. And we had a very fat cat. And my brother was very concerned about the cat getting outside. So he put the cat on the top landing of the cellar stairs and he shut the door. Unfortunately, the cat's tail, the end of it was in the door. And it was still on the door, but the cat was no longer there. I was a little inebriated, so I wasn't very adept at handling this situation, but the cat went through the house going like this with the tail all over, and then went to my mother's bedroom where she had just bought a brand new comforter and curled up on the comforter and went to sleep. The comforter was white. And then my mother's house looked like there had been a murder, which there probably was going to be when she got home. So my best friend, the one that came from St. Louis, and I called her mother and said, how do we get blood off of walls? And to her credit, Betty didn't ask why, but told us to use milk. So, which doesn't work, by the way. So now I have a cat that still has a partially amputated tail. There is blood all over the walls. The walls now stink like sour milk. And my mother's comforter looks like a murder took place. And I am epically hungover. And I have to take this cat to the emergency vet to figure something out with the tail. And it cost me $500 to have his tail wrapped. And then my mother called and I said, I have to tell you something before you get home, which gave her 2 hours to calm down. The cat ended up having to have part of his tail amputated, which I also had to pay for. And then not only did I think I also had to replace my mother's comforter. And then when she went in the backyard, evidently someone had vomited all over my backyard. So I suppose saying that I was not going to have a party was my biggest lie.
That didn't disappoint. I was
I have a
crying,
question.
laughing.
Yeah.
I have a question. You can edit this out because I don't know how this is gonna come. But you said the cat had to have part of its tail amputated.
Yes.
But wasn't part of the cat's tail already?
Yes, but they had to cut off more. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it was like, I'll have to ask my mother because this was a long time ago. I mean, I think I was 19.
That might be like the most epic party with parents away story I've ever heard.
I
mean, I'm sorry.
I didn't.
I mean, you don't want to hurt animals, obviously.
Right. And I felt really bad.
But no one hurt the animal. It was an accident.
It was a total accident. And my brother still brings it up. He's like, and you had a party and you were nowhere to be found and blah, blah, blah. And then the cat and no, no, no. And you left me to clean everything up.
Well,
and I think like,
brother.
Pardon?
He was your younger brother. That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I don't think he ever, I think that scarred him enough though, that he never threw a party or my parents just never went away after that. I can't remember him ever throwing a party. I think the worst he ever did was like when my dad or my mother and my stepfather, they were building a new house. They built a new house. Oh, and they went somewhere and he and his best friend sat on their front porch and smoked cigars and then like put out the cigars on their brand new front porch. That wasn't smart either. Not as bad as mine, but that wasn't smart either.
He didn't learn.
No, he doesn't. He still doesn't learn. I think he's like going to be 39. He still doesn't learn.